Okay, I wonder if we're live. Are we live? Get a little sound check going. Okay, I wonder if we're live. Are we live? Okay, looks like we're live. It's a go. Let's see. Welcome back to the channel. We're just going to try some new things here. We're going to try different types of programming. And one of the things that we're going to do today is we're going to do like a little tech news thing. And we're just going to get it going. I have a number of stories that I have to get through, and I'll tell you about them momentarily. But what we're doing is tech news, and these are the headlines that we're going to discuss in this feature today. Elon Musk warns of civilizational risk posed by AI in meeting with tech CEOs and senators. Elon Musk's 700-mile-per-hour hyperloop tech hasn't become reality, but companies are not giving up. Apple's $60 iCloud service is the future of Apple. The iPhone is finally getting the USB-C, and here's what that means. Digital forensics firm Binalyze, I do not know how to pronounce that, Binalyze, raises 19 million to investigate cyber threats. So yeah, so what we're doing is we're just trying it out, you know what I mean? And we're just gonna go through this presentation and see what we have. But before we do that, if you are here and you are in the chat, feel free to make yourself known, you know, say something in the chat or something like that, and that helps us all out and everything like that. Um, but this is like new, you know, as I got to record the video. I used to record the video, so that's, you know, what I'm used to. But now it's like, let's see, let me check some settings here. Hmm. Make sure that's coming through. So I gotta check some settings on my sampler a little bit here. Uh, Interesting. All right, so okay, let's go with it. Um, I can't get my digital sampler working. Let's try it again. And let's try it this way. Yeah, I don't think it's working. All right, so yeah, so yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay, I know what we need to do. Advanced audio properties. All right, welcome if you're watching. Welcome aboard. We're just waiting for people to come aboard. Now I want to figure out why the sampler is not coming through OBS. Try it on default device. Hmm. Did it work? We don't know. All right, on with the show. So let's get it. All right, first I'll do an intro. Improvement. So there's a lot to this video. This is a 20 some odd minute video that you can power to the power unit, turn it on, and see what we get. So here's what we got. We got into this. Then we got to do. The whole thing is we don't want to even get to that point. All right, here we are. All right, so like what we got going on today. This is some text-finished news. These are the topics that we're going to discuss. Elon Musk warns the civilization risk posed by AI meeting with CEOs and senators. Also, Elon Musk's 700-mile-per-hour hyperloop tech hasn't become a reality, but companies aren't giving up. Apple's $60 iCloud service is the future of Apple. The iPhone is finally getting USB-C, and here's what that means. Digital forensics firm Binalyze raises $19 million to investigate cyber threats. And on with what we got going on. So this is a live tech news roundup with commentary. Make sure you subscribe, share, and like the video. I totally appreciate it. Also, too, you know, share it with a friend. Sharing is caring. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at TechTinktronics. It's now known as X, as known as Twitter. My handle is Pauly D. We tinker and you learn for tech, but we also are going to do different types of programming to make it interesting. Your support is greatly appreciated. That's what you would do. You would go and, supply your support at the link tree. The link tree is in the comment section, but also too, while I'm here, let's see. Copy link address. Nah, that's not what I wanted. Let me backspace it a little bit. Let me get it off of here. There, I'll just there. Then I could pin the message. All right, so I just wanted to learn how to do that sort of thing. All right, let's continue on with the program. All right, so Elon Musk warns of civilizational risk posed by AI in meeting with tech CEOs and senators. Musk of Tesla and X, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, and OpenAI Sam Altman, and others are meeting with senators on Wednesday. Met with senators Wednesday. I did this a little while back. They met behind closed doors forum, and it has skeptics at both parties. So we're gonna see what we got.
The tech titans of the world, they're gathered on Capitol Hill today for the Senate's first Artificial Intelligence Insight Forum.
Yeah, we are seeing the likes of Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and other media moguls.
What's happening essentially is that they're gonna look at ways that that AI could be regulated, and I think that's a little bit of a challenge,
To help build a foundation for bipartisan tech policy. NBC News technology correspondent Jacob Ward joins us now from San Francisco. No one better to talk to this about. So, Jacob, what about this event? It's spearheaded by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. It was criticized, actually, from the moment it was announced as being more of a selfie opportunity. But what could come from this?
Well, the guest list is the first thing that caught everyone's attention, right? You have the CEOs of some of the largest companies, not just in the U.S., but in the history of the world. And yet it was a closed proceedings, closed to the public, closed to the press. Even other senators spoke up and said that this, a session in which senators would not even get the chance to ask live questions, they had to submit them in writing ahead of time, was not.
Okay, they had to submit the questions in writing ahead of time. That's a little sus.
Way to understand the stakes here, but it was an opportunity, at least on the steps of the Capitol, to get some sense of how regulators and the people invited here were coming together. Here's how Elon Musk described it just about a half.
Okay, so yeah, there's going to be a little bit of back and forth on the issue. But I am just, how can they regulate AI? And then the other thing is too, it's not just the AI, but what if somebody does something that puts an error in the AI? That would probably cause a problem. That's one of the things you got to look out for too. It was a good idea to have them all come in and discuss AI. That's I agree. So we'll read into the article a little bit here. Um, this is an NBC News. Tech billionaire Elon Musk warned senators in a private gathering on Capitol Hill that Wednesday that artificial intelligence poses civilizational risk. And I can understand that because, just to comment on that, if it's not just the AI, but as I said before, it could be uh, an error coded into the AI that causes an issue or something like that. Um, so his remarks came during a first of its kind closed door summit, AI featuring who's who of big tech titans that also included Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Senator Pichai, and Sam Altman. All 100 senators were invited, though not all attended. As he left Capitol after several hours, Musk, the wealthiest person in the world, called the gathering historic. He also endorsed the idea of a new federal agency to oversee AI and repeated his warnings that artificial intelligence poses a tremendous danger. So if you think that, if you could, what are your thoughts about that? If you're in the chat or whatever, feel free to comment below and like I could shout you out or whatever. Let's see if I could maybe change some settings. Let's see. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Mission activity. Oh. Well, okay, on with the article. Okay, as he left Capitol after several hours, Musk, the wealthiest person in the world, called gathering historic, and I could agree to that. It was a historic gathering. It also endorsed the idea of a new federal agency to oversee AI. I don't know. It depends how knowledgeable about the AI they are and how good their people are, I guess. Um, so now, the consequences of AI, quoted, this is a quote, the consequences of AI going wrong are so severe that we have to be proactive rather than reactive, Musk told a gaggle of reporters ducking into his Tesla. So let's continue on with this article here. And, just hit the like button and all that good stuff and, share the video. All right. And so next page is the question is really one of civilizational risk. It's not like one group of humans versus another. It's like, hey, this is something that potentially risky for all humans everywhere. He added. Asked if AI will destroy mankind, Musk paused and replied, there is some chance that is above zero that AI will kill us all. I think it's low, but there is some chance. I think we should also consider the fragility of human civilization. Senator Cynthia Lummis, Republican from Wyoming, who attended the private gathering, said she was struck by Musk's phrase civilizational risk, wrote the phrase down in her notebook, and showed it to two reporters. Other panelists, she said, talked about the need for immigration reform to allow more high tech workers in the U.S. and the need for standards reform and the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Okay. So, yeah. So, what else do we have? So, look at this. So, this is a time where, like, I would like to see some people, in the chat. And these are some of the questions that I had for some of you guys to think about. And then you could also comment below. Can AI cause harm to society? And if so, how much? Should the government regulate this technology? And if so, to what extent? Feel free to comment in the chat, and that'd be cool. All right, so on we go. All right, so that's what we can see. And take this AI technology, cautiously. All right, so the next story that we're covering is Elon Musk's 700-mile-per-hour hyperloop tech hasn't become reality, but companies aren't giving up. Tesla founder Elon Musk came up with the hyperloop concept in 2013. These are a few facts and key points. There's been so much hype with several firms years ago saying that we would have a mass scale hyperloop system by now, but the dream of a hyperloop mega fast transportation system hasn't ended yet. Tom Hyperloop told CNBC is still developing the technology. So those are the key points of the article, as according to CNBC. All right, so yes, and the Hyperloop test track with this tube and transport cabin. That's kind of what it looks like. The Hyperloop test track at the Technical University of Munich. There's a 24-meter long vacuum tube made of concrete, full-size passenger vessel. All right, so Hyperloop mega fast transportation system dreamed up in 2013 by Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk was supposed to be a reality by now, but hasn't quite worked out that way. There's been so much hype with several firms years ago saying that we would have a mass scale Hyperloop system by now. That just hasn't happened. Many believe the Hyperloop concept will eventually challenge other forms of transportation, including airplanes, by moving people and cargo through tubes at speeds of around 700 miles per hour. The dream of a Hyperloop hasn't ended yet. I've been working on this for several years now. We wouldn't be doing it if we didn't believe in it. I mean, I think a lot of hype when it came out was really optimistic. Like in 2 years and 3 years, I don't know, but this is, I mean, this is the timeline you can see if you build the software, maybe not build infrastructure. Says Gabriel Semino, the project lead at Hyperloop, told CNBC in an interview. So the technology isn't 100% there yet, but it's like, it's possible. I don't know that much about it, but I would like to get more into it. Obviously, for this kind of completely new system, you need to develop it. Since its inception, several companies have been racing to develop their own versions of the Hyperloop. TUM Hyperloop is the brainchild of Technical University's Munich. The company is currently building up the technology. At IAA Auto Show in Munich this month, TUM Hyperloop showed off the pod that passengers would sit in. The company has built the tube about 24 meters in length. While it's a short distance, TUM Hyperloop is trying to test the systems that work before continuing to build the long track. Semino said he expects that by the end of this decade, the technology will be ready. This would mean short tracks with the Hyperloop operating at full speed and transporting passengers. By the end of the next decade, Hyperloop technology will have longer tracks built through the continents, Semino said. Hyperloop Transportation Technologies and Elon Musk's Boring Company are also exploring the technology. That's interesting. So you could also read more about it at CNBC if you want. And more on this. Europe, a forerunner for tech, Hyperloop technology has a chance to solve a lot of problems. It would be green and super fast mode of transport. It could also reduce the need to take flights or drive places like US or continental Europe. Snow said it could take the burden off traditional train lines, which could be used to transport cargo. This is not wishful thinking. There is right now a necessity for new and better infrastructure, Semino said. He said, while regions like the Middle East and China would be candidates for this technology, Europe will likely be among the first regions to get the technology. I think right now for Hyperloop specifically, the region is making most progress in Europe, Semino said. All right, so on to the next slide. So the question for you all is this a realistically feasible technology? How long, how does the cost compare to the current modes of transportation? You decide, you comment in the chat if you want to, and all that good stuff. All right, now we're going to go on to Apple's $60 iCloud service. That is the future of Apple, according to Wired. New iPhones, sure, but the company's compelling new service lures you even deeper into its ecosystem. Okay, so what's this about? So basically, just as Apple is wrapping up its annual presentation of a brand new iPhone today, a whole new suite of them, plus a watch, the company's senior vice president of marketing, Greg Joel, let slip the two new iCloud plans that will launch on September 18th. So remarkably, the in-person crowd of more than 300 Apple members and acolytes of the global press were more enthused by the new iCloud tiers than they were by the iPhone's new USB-C port. These are iCloud plans signifying a premium Apple service, the kind that might make your wallet wince. The first new iCloud tiers offer 6 terabytes of cloud storage for $30 a month. The next option is double the price for double the storage at $60 or $12 terabytes. $60 per month for iCloud is indeed pricey. It also is Apple's future, the one that includes phones, a heads-up display, is loaded with spatial video, customers paying subscription fees and various services, and Apple warming even deeper into our lives, which is interesting. So now, let's see. So you can find this in Wired. Let's see some more information. The gathering clouds convincing customers to store even more of their digital goods in iCloud makes it much harder for them to leave Apple's ecosystem. There's actual cost of the service, and there's the so-called switching costs, the hassle that comes with deciding to leave and trying to move all your data from one service to another. With its new iCloud series, Apple is promising premium features like hide my email, custom email domains, HomeKit, secure video as part of the service. But just as many people will be lured by what seems like a lifetime amount of photo storage, it's a good business opportunity for Apple because most users will need more storage in the long term, says Francisco Germano, Vice President of Data and Logistics analytics for IDC Europe. The issue with bringing better and better cameras to everyone's hands is we take more and high resolution photos. And that, is a good question. It's like, um, how far can we go with the resolution? That that's what I'd like to know. It's like, I mean, in the future, will we have double the resolution? Will we have, more, that sort of thing? I mean, because I think we have enough. I mean, I thought the camera I had in 2005 was enough. But yeah. All right. So, and then you can get this article from Wired. Apple's free iCloud option offers 5 gigabytes of storage is still available as 50 gigabyte, 200 gigabyte, and 2 terabyte options. Google's cloud storage options for consumers in comparison is range from $3 a month to 200 gigabytes to $50 a month for 10 terabytes. So, to the chat and the people watching, would you use iCloud storage to the extent of needing terabytes of storage? Does the prices seem affordable to you? You decide in the chat. You could comment below, and you can go with it from there. All right, then the talk of the week is iPhones getting the USB-C, and here's what that means. This is according to Wired. This is great. It doesn't really, for me, it's just one less cord. It makes things a little bit cheaper. All right, so the first devices with USB-C charging port arrived in 2015. Now USB-C is everywhere. Android phones, laptops, wireless earbuds, mirrorless cameras, gaming consoles, PC monitors, even electric scooters. Well, almost everywhere. The longest holdout has been iPhone, despite adding USB-C to every new MacBook, iPad in the past few years. Apple has opted to stick with its proprietary Lightning connector for its smartphone. Every iPhone since 2012 has used Lightning until now. Every new iPhone 15 model has a USB-C port instead of Lightning. Here's everything you need to know about the transition. I think it's great in a way because that's less cords that you would possibly need. So it'd save you a little bit of money and that sort of thing. Moving on. Why is Apple changing the port now? Remember the 30-pin connector on all iPhones and iPods? That was introduced in 2003. 9 years later, Apple swapped it to the Lightning port, which was smaller and reversible. You could plug it in any direction, and created more space within the device to allow for other components like bigger batteries. Now, 11 years later, Lightning has gone away in favor of USB-C. Apple has gradually added USB-C ports to its other hardware over the past few years. It was the first to put USB-C on a laptop in 2015, and then the iPad started transitioning Lightning to USB-C. You could say the iPhone was inevitably going to be next in line. Apple has been collecting licensing fees from third parties that make accessories utilizing the Lightning port through companies made iPhone and my MFI program. Why lose out on all that cash? Apple's hand was forced by the European Union, which passed a law in 2022 requiring phones, tablets, and cameras sold in the region to become equipped with USB-C ports by the end of 2024. Okay, so that's interesting. So that was the reason behind it. Okay. All right. So that's what made it happen. So what's the benefit of switching to USB-C? The transition comes down to convenience. Everyone can use this universal port to recharge and transfer data. No matter the device, this means you can use the same charging cable across multiple devices. Imagine being able to plug your Mac USB-C cable to recharge your iPad and your iPhone. If your friend has an Android phone, yes, we can coexist and finally use the same cable to top up their devices at your place. As USB-C is conquering the world, I don't even think about it anymore. Do I have a micro USB charger or do I have a Lightning charger? Says Bernie Thompson, founder and chief of technology officer at Pluggable Technologies. The world is standardizing on a single connector and its flexible negotiated power standard that can power devices at a fastest rate safely. So I think it's great news. I think it's great. Comment below if you think so too, and let us know what your thoughts are about it. Now, does this change make the charger requirement simpler for you? Does it make it simpler for me? Yes. Is it a cost-effective move for the consumer and manufacturer? I imagine so. You decide. Comment below in the chat, and you tell us what you think about it. All right. Now, I think this far we have a digital forensics firm, Binalyze, raises 19 million to investigate cyber threats. So let's see what that's about. All right, so this is according to TechCrunch. Binalyze, a London-based startup building toolset for digital forensics and incident response, this week announced that it raised 19 million in a Series A round led by Molten Ventures with participation from Cisco Investments, Citibank Ventures, and Deutsche Bank Ventures. Founder and CEO of Emery Tinazipi says that tragedy, which brings Binalyze's total raise 30.5 million, will be put towards its own words, reacting to market conditions and effectively continuing to rapidly scale. The mission was and still is to disrupt and innovate digital forensics industry to make forensics accessible to a broader set of use cases. And that's what Tinazipi told TechCrunch in an email interview. To achieve the precision of digital forensics, it's been necessary to make lightning fast, remote, scalable, automated, integrated with other security platforms. The fundraising comes at a tough time for cybersecurity startups, at least in terms of the raw capital through the sector. Startups and cyber saw 2.7 billion in VC funding in Q1 2023, up from 2.4 billion in Q4 2022, but that was down 58% from 6.5 billion that such startups received in Q1 2022, according to Crunchbase. So, yeah. So that's what's going on. I still have some more news to continue with, and we could take a look at that. What you've been watching is Tech Spanish with Tech News, Tech Tinktronics. These are some of the stories that we covered, but there's a couple of more that I want to cover, so I'm going to switch my screen. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. I forgot which screen is what. So let's go. All right, so there I am. All right, so I just wanted to go over and look at some things. All right, so behind me is we're talking about how to stop Windows updating beyond a specific version. Now, if that's interesting, it says all Windows 10 versions 18.03 and higher allow you to specify which version of the operating system you would like to cap the machine at. This means you can instruct Windows 10 to update to a specific version and stay at that version. And this is according to make use of. And this is until the end of service. So even newer updates and release, your Windows 10 PC won't update beyond the version you specify. This can be helpful if you know that there are bugs or features you don't like in certain versions of the OS. And it goes into how you would start, set it up. So you can find that on make use of. And what are your thoughts? You know what? I don't think that it's the greatest idea to block the updates, but also too comes a time when the device just stops working, and that's part of the issue too. So what do? It's kind of a catch-22. It's like often like with the Acer book that I have, like you'll see in previous videos in my channel that I have actually installed Android x86, but then I actually went back to Windows 10 just because it seems that to get the hard drive to, well, it's NVMe drive, it's really small. To get it to update stuff, I have to reinstall the operating system. It's too small. All right, so what are your thoughts? So I'll take it back to the Tech News chat, see what's going on. All right, so now I'm going to continue on. According to BGR, iOS 17 sideloading support is coming, and Apple can't stop it. So They've long speculated that iOS 17 will support sideloading in the European Union because of the Digital Markets Act law, and now it's finally official. No, Apple hasn't actually announced that the feature is imminent for iPhones and iPads in the region, nor do I expect an announcement anytime soon. But Apple has 6 months to implement sideloading in iOS 17 and potentially older iOS versions, or risk billions in fines. So that's something to, put a pin in, keep a note of, which is really, really interesting. So what they're saying is, in other words, iPhones and iPads in the European Union will support third-party app stores, third-party payment systems, and sideloading. And it'll start with iOS 17, which is set out to come out sometime next week. And then you can read further into this how how the DMA forces Apple to embrace sideloading on an iPhone. So that's something to look out for. Something interesting. I think that it could benefit Apple and allowing more affordability into its ecosystem for some of us that use the Android. I have both Apple and Android, so it's pretty cool. So what are your thoughts? Comment below, let us know. And also, let's see here. All right, according to ZDNet, Home and Office, Ring's new pet tag can help you find your furry friend faster, and it's only $10. Ring's new accessory makes it easier for people who might find your wandering pet to contact you, and here's how. So if you have a fur baby, there's nothing you won't do to keep your pet safe. For that reason, Ring created a product that can help protect your pet without breaking the bank. So that's something to also look into. You can read more about it at ZDNet. If you have a pet and you want to keep track, that's definitely something worth looking into. And let's see here. Then we're going to talk about according to The Verge, here's how Apple's new iPhone 15 models compare to some of the best Android phones. Check in the specs on the iPhone 15, 15 Plus, 15 Pro, and 15 Pro Max versus their Samsung Galaxy and Google Pixel competition. So you can check it out at The Verge to get a detailed read on what the competition is. So I'll read into it a little bit. Apple finally got with the program and put USB-C on its new iPhones. But how do they compare to Android iPhones from the likes of Samsung and Google, where USB-C is nothing but old hat technology? Well, let's see here. The iPhone and iPhone 15 Pro models Apple announced at the Wonderlust keynote have various other updates and niceties aside from the new ports, like cameras, dynamic islands up and down the line, roadside assistance through the satellite function, and all kinds of good stuff. So it's definitely stuff we're looking into. So how does it compare? So I'll just cut it to the short and just say that, well, they're going to look at this chart here, and let me see if I could zoom in. And we'll just look at some things. So hopefully you guys can see it. So according to The Verge in their data, iPhone 15, iPhone 15 Plus versus the Samsung Galaxy S23 and Google Pixel Pixel 7. So starting price for the iPhone 15 is going to be $799. iPhone 15 Plus is $899. Samsung Galaxy S23 is cheaper by a little bit at $699.99, and a Google Pixel 7 is probably your most affordable. The 15s come with iOS 17. The Samsung and the Google Pixel come with Android 13. The displays on the iPhone 15 are 2556, 1179 OLED, and then expanded on the iPhone 15 Plus, 2796 times 1290 OLED. And then you take the Samsung Galaxy S23, and you have a comparable screen at 2340 1080 OLED. And also it's a let's go by inches, 6.1 6.1, 6.7, and 6.3. So the biggest screen you're going to get is with the iPhone 15 Plus. Now they're talking about the display refresh rate on the iPhones is 60 hertz, and it's 120 hertz on the S23 and 90 hertz on the Pixel 7. And then you got peak brightness. So, you got more brightness on the iPhone. So the display on the iPhone, I think it's always good, you know what I mean? Like it's really clear, crisp, and it's really beautiful. I like it. So then you have the dimensions and all that good stuff. So and they go through all kinds of details, like they talk about the wireless charging and all the different things and all the different things you could possibly need, and comparing what you have. We could sit here all night and go through it, but I'm actually getting past my bedtime, and I'm actually gonna start rounding this out. So look forward to more live content. This is going to be the format for the channel now. So what we're going to do is, we're going to like continue to do the format. So this was a live tech news roundup, tech spinach, tech news, tech commentary. Please subscribe, share, and like this video, and we would certainly appreciate it. Also, tune in for the next live and just get your notifications. Check them. Follow us on Twitter, on X, and keep us in your mind, And thank you for watching, and thank you for those that joined us in the live, and thank you for those that are going to join us for the replay. Your support is greatly appreciated. The link tree and all that good stuff is all you need, and we have that there. And I think I am going to 6.3 just as a test, just to test my stream wall for future streams and stuff like that. What we have is the U.S. Geological Service, and what they are showing is the volcano over there in Hawaii, somewheres. So that's what's going on now. So, hopefully we could fill this wall up with some streams, and we could get some more live content going. I thank you all for being here. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now, because I don't think anybody joined us for this inaugural run, and that's fine. But because not many people are used to me streaming. So, let's go forward and let's do that.